There's something strange happening in the world right now. Oil is becoming political again. Currencies are becoming weapons. Trade routes are becoming battlefields. And countries are no longer choosing business partners, they're choosing economic survival partners. For years, the global economy worked like a giant interconnected machine. China manufactured. Russia supplied energy. America controlled finance. Europe consumed. And the dollar sat at the center of almost everything. But now that machine is starting to split. Not loudly, not overnight, but quietly, strategically, and economically. And one relationship is sitting at the center of this transformation: China and Russia. For decades, the United States believed it could pressure both countries separately. Sanction Russia, contain China, control trade routes, protect dollar dominance. But something unexpected happened. Instead of becoming weaker individually, China and Russia started becoming stronger together. And the real story is not military, it's economic. Because this partnership may slowly reshape energy markets, global trade, manufacturing, inflation, banking, and even the future power of the US dollar. Most people still think wars are fought using tanks and missiles. But modern empires survive through supply chains, energy corridors, semiconductor control, shipping routes, and currencies. This is not just a geopolitical story anymore. This is a story about who controls the economic future of the planet. And the dangerous part? Most of this transformation is happening silently. No dramatic headlines, no official announcement saying, "The global economic system is changing today." Instead, it happens through small agreements, pipeline deals, currency swaps, shipping insurance, rare earth contracts, and quiet trade negotiations. Let's start with energy. Russia is one of the largest exporters of oil, natural gas, coal, uranium, and critical minerals. China is the world's largest energy importer. Now think about this combination carefully. One country desperately needs buyers. The other desperately needs stable energy supplies. That alone creates a powerful economic relationship, especially after Europe reduced dependence on Russian energy following the Ukraine war. Before the conflict, Europe was one of Russia's biggest customers. But sanctions changed everything. Suddenly, Russia needed a new economic direction, and China became the answer. This is where the story becomes bigger than politics. Because energy is not just fuel. Energy determines manufacturing costs, transportation costs, food prices, inflation, industrial growth, and military capability. Cheap energy can turn countries into industrial giants. Expensive energy can slowly weaken entire economies. That's one reason why Europe has struggled with industrial pressure and higher production costs in recent years. Meanwhile, China understands something very important. If future conflicts disrupt Middle Eastern oil routes, or if tensions with America increase, China must secure long-term energy from land-based partners. Russia provides exactly that. Pipelines are becoming geopolitical weapons, not missiles. Pipelines. Projects like Power of Siberia are not just infrastructure projects. They are economic survival corridors. Every kilometer of pipeline reduces dependence on Western-controlled systems. And this creates another huge problem for the United States: the dollar. For decades, global trade mostly operated through the US dollar. Oil, dollar. International trade, dollar. Global reserves, dollar. debt markets, dollar. This gave America enormous power, because controlling the world's financial system is sometimes more powerful than controlling armies. Countries under sanctions often discover this very quickly. But China and Russia are now slowly trying to reduce dependence on the dollar system. Instead, they increasingly trade using yuan, rubles, bilateral banking systems, and alternative payment networks. Now, let's be realistic. The dollar is not collapsing tomorrow. Not even close. The US financial system remains incredibly powerful. But this isn't about immediate collapse. It's about gradual erosion. History shows global systems rarely disappear suddenly. They weaken slowly, then all at once. And China understands long-term strategy better than most nations. Beijing does not need to destroy the dollar. It only needs to reduce dependence on it over time. Even partial de-dollarization changes global power. Why? Because economic influence works like gravity. The more countries trade outside the dollar system, the weaker America's financial leverage becomes. And many countries are watching carefully, especially nations that fear future sanctions or political pressure. This is one reason BRICS has become more important economically. Not because it will replace the West immediately, but because many countries want options. The world is slowly moving away from one dominant economic center toward multiple competing centers. And this changes globalization itself. For decades, companies optimized for efficiency. Manufacturing was placed wherever labor was cheapest. Politics came second. Now, politics comes first. Today, companies ask, is this country stable? Could sanctions happen? Could trade routes close? Could conflict disrupt shipping? Could semiconductors become restricted? The result? Global supply chains are being redesigned. Factories are moving. Trade routes are changing. Strategic industries are becoming national security priorities. This is why countries like India, Vietnam, Indonesia, Mexico, and Gulf economies are becoming increasingly important. The world is searching for economic alternatives. But there's a hidden cost to this transition. Globalization was efficient. A fragmented world is expensive. When countries prioritize security over efficiency, production costs rise, duplication increases, inflation risks grow, and consumers pay more. That means this geopolitical rivalry eventually affects ordinary people. Your fuel bill, your food prices, your electronics, your job market, your investments. Everything becomes connected. And there's another layer most people miss: technology. The next global economic battle may not be oil. It may be artificial intelligence, chips, quantum computing, and industrial automation. America still dominates many advanced technologies. But China is rapidly investing in alternatives. And Russia contributes something extremely valuable: resources, rare earth minerals, energy, metals, strategic geography. China provides manufacturing power and economic scale. Together, they reduce vulnerability. Not perfectly, but strategically. This is why the relationship matters. It's not about friendship. It's about survival in an increasingly divided world. And perhaps the most important lesson here is this: economic wars rarely look dramatic in the beginning. When historians study major global transitions, they often notice the same pattern. The old system looks permanent, until suddenly it isn't. The British pound once dominated global finance. Most people assumed it always would. Then, power shifted. Today, the dollar remains dominant. But the world is beginning to prepare for alternatives. Not because America is weak, but because nations fear dependence. And whenever countries fear dependence, they seek strategic balance. That's exactly what China and Russia are building. Not necessarily a perfect alliance, but an economic shield against Western pressure. Now the big question becomes, can the United States adapt to a multipolar economic world? Or will pressure on rivals continue pushing them closer together? Because history has a strange habit. Sometimes attempts to weaken enemies accidentally create stronger partnerships. And that may be exactly what the world is witnessing right now. Not the collapse of America, not the rise of a new empire overnight, but the slow birth of a divided global economy. One where currencies compete, energy becomes strategic, globalization fragments, and economics becomes the real battlefield of the 21st century. The world may still look connected on the surface, but underneath, a new economic map is quietly being drawn.